doctors and the lawyers. It is a medico-juridical construction. And this is a term that you're going to come across when you start reading the text, because Butler uses the term repeatedly, medico-juridical, medico-juridical. It is created by doctors and it is created by the lawyers. So therefore, when I talk about doctors, this is a story that I'm never tired of telling people. This was one of my first webinars. This is during the days of that horrible lockdown. And I was doing a webinar for a college, and the college principal was introducing me, and the college principal said, usually when the college principal starts to speak, I take a bathroom break, because I know that the college principal is going to take about half an hour to talk mostly about himself. So I usually, okay, college principal has started to speak, so now is the time to go. But I don't know what happened on that occasion. I stayed there, and I'm very glad that I stayed there, because what this man said is going to stay with me forever. He said, I don't know anything about gender, and the moment he said that, I thought, okay, then I will listen to you. I will listen to you. Because the moment you say, I don't know anything about gender, which means that you're worth listening to, because people who say they know about gender, So I said, I'm going to listen to you. And then he said, sir, there is something that I must tell you. I was in hospital. I was on tenterhooks. We were expecting our first child. My wife was in labor. I was there with my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. I was sweating profusely. And after some time, I hear the cry of a child. And everybody heaves a sigh of relief. Oh, congratulations, congratulations. And then the nurse comes out with this little bundle in a towel. But sir, what happens next is something that I wasn't prepared for. So I said, what happened? He said that the nurse came with this bundle in a towel, and the nurse lifted the bottom end of the towel to show me the genitals. And I was absolutely furious. And I said, this is my first child. I want to see the face. Why are you showing me the genital? I don't care what the genital, why are you showing? And so he was about to fly off the handle, and of course the parents-in-law, who always know better, they placed a comforting hand on his shoulder, and he said, don't get angry. The nurse has done the right thing. That's the story that I will never forget. So therefore, do you see what this means? It means your face is not important. Your face is not important. It's your genitals. So the nurse did the right thing by saying, face can go to hell. It is the genitalia that matters, because মুখ দিয়ে তো কখনো জীবন ঠিক করতে পারবে না, কিন্তু genital দিয়ে জীবন ঠিকঠাক হবে. Right? So therefore, Butler begins to ask the question as to what makes a woman. And so therefore, what they're saying is that a woman is a medico-juridical construction. So it is made by doctors and it is made by lawyers. It is and of course, once that is done, then the whole culture, falls in line. So you've got books and literature and movies and painting who are going to then replicate that story, but it is started at that level. Okay. So what patriarchy does is that patriarchy says you are born male or you're born female, and then you become a man or you become a woman, and you desire a woman or you desire a man. Sex leads to gender, leads to desire. That's the story. What Butler says is that we have probably been taught the story in reverse. It's probably the other way around. It's probably the other way around. It's probably the case that desire comes first, gender comes later, and then sex. And it makes no sense. What are you saying? Because what are you saying? A child is born. Then a child grows up, and then the child becomes a man or a woman and gets married. That is the story. That's what we know. And Butler says, no, no, no. No. So, why does she say no? Well, every time somebody has a child, if you look at the wording of the Facebook status update, what is usually written, Mr. and Mrs. Chatterjee has been blessed with a baby boy or a baby girl. But you see, that's not the whole story. That's not the whole story. The sentence should have read, Mr. and Mrs. Chatterjee have been blessed with a baby boy who will one day grow up to be a man who will marry a woman, and the woman will have grandchildren, preferably a son, because Nati Shorge Devi Bati. That's the full sentence, isn't it? I mean, that is the full, but it's too much to fit into a WhatsApp status update. It's too much. Baby boy. But when you're saying baby boy, immediately with baby boy, you're automatically saying future heterosexual man who will have enough sperm count to produce grandchildren, preferably male grandchildren, because female grandchildren are like, I'm sorry, a bit of a problem. So therefore, that. So you see, when I am designating a child as male, I am at the one and the same time designating the child as future cis heterosexual. So it's not that sex comes first, followed by gender, followed by desire. Sex, gender, and desire, they become operative at one and the same time. They coexist. They come into being at the exact same point. Now you begin to understand why Butler puts the oblique. It's because, you see, when you put oblique, it means equal. They're all happening at the same time. It's another matter that we are not acknowledging it, but it is all happening at the same time. The moment you're saying it's a baby boy, all those other things are automatically falling into place, which is why when the baby boy grows up and says, I'm sorry, but I don't want to grow up to be a man, I wish to become a woman, the parents have a cardiac arrest. Why are the parents so shocked? The parents are shocked because toke niye amra koto shopno dekhechilam. And every time they say this, I'm thinking, তোমাকে স্বপ্ন দেখার অধিকারটা কে দিল? Who gave you the right to dream about another individual's life? Right? So therefore, you do not get to decide what my dreams are going to be. My dreams are going to be my dreams. So therefore, what happens is that we assume. See, assume is a word that I had already mentioned at the beginning of the talk. This is how the assumptions work. So therefore, when people ask me how to identify patriarchy, I tell them one of the best ways to identify patriarchy is to listen out for assumptions. And also watch yourself when you are saying something which may be based on assumptions. So every time you say something, hear yourself. Are you assuming something? Because if you're assuming something, chances are it's patriarchal. So therefore, when people are horrified, but I horrify people all the time. It's become my middle name, Niladri, horrific, Chatterjee. So I horrify people on so many counts. I horrify people because I haven't gotten married, oh my God. I horrify people because I don't smoke, oh my God. I horrify people because I don't drink, oh my God. I horrify people because cricket bores me, oh my God. I'm horrified because sports are of absolutely no interest to me, oh my God. So you see, I could go on. I can't ride a bicycle, I can't swim, and I can't whistle. I'm a disgrace. I'm a disgrace. মানে আপনি পুরুষ মানুষ তো একটা সিটিও বাজাতে পারেন না। So therefore, what is really going on there is that we are